Hello, salutations. What to do? It's Dr. Gamer, all father, Durag gang. Know the vibes, like, subscribe. Let's get it. So, one of the questions I get asked the most is how do I build characters in Marvel's Avengers? So, I decided to make a quick guide showing you how I approach building characters so that when Winter Soldier comes out later this year, you'll be able to hit the ground running. But before I get into it, make sure you hit the like button and then subscribe with notifications on. It's 100% free, only takes a second. I make Marvel's Avengers videos every single week, and you won't want to miss the information that I drop. So, when it comes to building characters in Marvel's Avengers, generally you're going to be looking at it in a few ways. Am I going to build them melee? Am I going to build them range? Am I going to build them heroic based? Or am I going to do some kind of combination? Those are the basics. That playstyle is going to be up to you. Some are better than others depending on the character, but every character in this game can be powerful in their own right if you build them correctly. Now, I'm not going to get into how to level up specifically in this video, but I will leave a link at the end showing you the fastest and best ways to level up in this game. So when a new character comes out, the first thing I do is I pay attention to all the information that the developers are giving us. Every time a character is about to drop, they'll do blogs, they'll do videos, kind of giving us a preview and overview of the hero kit. And I cover all that on my channel, so that is another reason for you to subscribe. So in the instance of Jane Foster, for example, I knew that she's basically going to be Thor, so I could apply the building principles that I applied to Thor, most likely to Jane. Now for Winter Soldier, we don't have that much information out about him right now, but what we do know is enough for me to kind of get a feel for how I'm going to approach him. We know that he's going to have his combat knife. We know that he is going to have a fighting style comparable to Captain America and Black Widow, and we know that he's going to have a ranged weapon in the form of an assault rifle, and according to leaks, that assault rifle is going to be able to be modified with different attachments such as a grenade launcher. So right off the bat, I know that Bucky is either going to be a range character, a melee character, or some kind of hybrid. So once I actually get my hands on a new character, first thing I do is I check out the skills. A lot of people, I realize, neglect this, and it is very important so that I get an idea of how I should approach building this character, especially when I start grinding XP and unlocking these skills. I need to know where I'm going to put my skill points that will be the most effective. So on the first page, I'm going to look for the character signature attacks, and I'm going to look for their power attacks because those are most likely going to be the most effective. Now, if a character like Winter Soldier, for example, has specific ranged weaponry, then I'll look at the range tree and see which skills are relevant. Then I'll peek over on the defense side to see if there's any good defensive perks, anything related to intrinsic or parrying or something that I should be prioritizing. For the most part, I'm going to focus on those main things, and then I'm going to save my skill points for the other trees. So the next stop is going to be the heroic tree. So now I'm going to be looking through the heroics, getting an idea of what is most effective. Based on reading the description, I'm going to be putting points to unlock the skill tree and the specializations so that I can then play around with the different skills for each heroic. And I also peek over on the intrinsic side in case the character has some powerful intrinsic related stuff. So when I finally unlock the mastery tree, the first thing I do is look for takedown specialization, and then I check off heroic takedown mastery because your heroics are extremely important in this game, and by far the best thing to do when generating a takedown is to get a heroic orb back. So that is the absolute first thing I'm looking for on this side of the tree. Then I'll go over the other specializations, see what's worth putting points into, and then I'll act accordingly. The champion system unlocks after I get all the skills, and it still isn't that effective apart from a few of these trees. So you see the ones that are marked off: critical damage, critical chance, heroic charge rate, perk chance boost, and fortification boost. Those are the only ones that actually matter. Put your points there. After that, you can do whatever you want. It's not going to really be effective. Now, when it comes to gear, your playstyle is going to determine what you're looking for in terms of stats. For example, with Black Widow, I decided I wanted to focus this character on range and heroic damage. So that means I'm looking for gear that has Valor, and I'm looking for gear that has proficiency on it, ideally a combination of both of those. If it was melee, you'd be looking for might. Resolve is for defense. That is basically your health. Resilience is your armor. Resilience, you don't need that much. Resolve tends to be more important than resilience, but it's nice to have a decent combination of the two. What I have right here is a pretty solid combination. Now, gear is going to depend on each specific character. In general, you're going to approach it the same way. You want to do the battery effect, which is combining a negative and a positive stat stats effect, and you want a damage buff somewhere on your character. Those are the primary ways you're going to be doing damage. For example, on Black Widow, I have her gun doing cosmic damage, which is positive. On her melee, I have her signature attack doing cryo, which is negative. And on top of that, I have a vibranium payload on the minor artifact. Vibranium is positive. And her assault heroic, Widow's Bite, naturally does shock, which is negative. So right there, I have a way to apply multiple status effects. And on top of that, my ranged piece here has 2 different damage buffs: the proficient buff and the targeted tachyon surge. Ideally, you're going to want at least 1 damage buff on your character, and you're going to want a way to apply battery damage. It could also be worth getting a reactive cosmic surge. Cosmic surge essentially recharges your heroics and your health every time you take damage. That's the reactive version. I prefer it if it's on a minor artifact like this one. There's another perk that's worth looking for every character that will essentially give you infinite heroics, but I'll get into that in another video. That's basically the overview. Build videos are definitely useful, especially if someone comes up with a interesting new way to play a character, but I think it's better overall if new players had a general understanding about how to approach character building themselves, rather than having to copy and paste another build and not really understand why the person did what they did. So if this video helped you out at all, make sure you like and subscribe. And if you want to know the fastest way to level up in Marvel's Avengers, check out this next video.